Good afternoon. I'm Monisa Klein here at GBTA Broadcast Studio here in Orlando, Florida at GBTA 2021 Convention. It's great to be here today, and with me in the studio I have Mr. Shane Berry, who came in from New York. Shane is the Chief Customer Officer for Mint House. Welcome, Shane.
Thank you, Monisa.
Yes, it's great to have you here with us. Isn't it great to be here? Great to be seen.
Terrific to be here in person, absolutely, yes.
So you're the Chief Customer Officer for Mint House. So let's start off by talking about Mint House. Tell me what Mint House does.
Mint House is a really great idea. We are disrupting the hotel industry for business travelers. So you might have experienced a cage-like, box-like hotel where the last thing you want to do is spend any time in the hotel room. And what we're doing is we're reinventing the hotel experience by creating a apartment-style hotel experience for business travelers. So typically what you'll find at a Mint House is we will have gotten rid of a lot of the things that you dislike about the current hotel model, and we've introduced a lot of new elements to the experience that our business traveling guests really appreciate.
Such as?
How many times have you stood in line to check in at a hotel and you're frustrated that you have to pull out your card, your corporate card, you've got to pull out your ID. At Mint House, we use the phone. Everything that you need to check in comes via the phone, so you can go straight to your Mint House space at a property without having to check in physically. Our spaces are typically 2 to 3 times the size of your normal hotel room. We have full kitchens, we have a very comfortable environment, all the comforts and conveniences of home, we like to say. So it's all about creating that environment that makes you feel comfortable. So for example, before you arrive at Mint House, again, you can use your phone to order groceries that will be delivered to your Mint House in advance of your visit. That's great because you can stay on your diet. You can just continue to live the way you like to live. We also, shortly you'll be able to set the temperature in your Mint House space before you arrive. You can be sure that you're not going to be bothered by your neighbors next door because we're monitoring the decibel level in your room. We're not listening to your conversations, but we're monitoring the decibel level so we know if you've got a noisy neighbor and we can take care of that problem. So it's all about using technology to create a much better experience for the business traveler in a space that is much more comfortable and a home away from home experience.
So are all of your properties are they branded Mint House?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So they're all Mint House.
Yes,
okay.
So we're in about 15 cities at the moment.
15 cities.
We just opened up in Dallas yesterday.
Okay.
Soon we'll be opening up in New Orleans. We're in places like New York, Miami, Minneapolis, Denver, Nashville. We're currently looking at international expansion. We have about 24 properties at the moment, and plans to grow very fast over the next 12 to 24 months.
And how many years have you guys been in business?
4.5.
Okay.
4.5 years,
okay.
yeah.
So obviously you've been around, right, and growing. What's been some of the keys to your success?
I think listening to travelers and understanding that if you think about it, you hear this data point all the time that 50% of a hotel or a corporation will have 50% hotel compliance. In other words, only 50% of their spend or their room nights is going to the hotels that they've negotiated with. So another data point, there was some research that we came across that pointed to the fact that 70% of millennial business travelers have stayed at a vacation rental type accommodation for business. So what that's pointing to is travelers are looking for something different. So what Mint House has done is created that something different. So it's everything that a traveler likes about an Airbnb experience, but it's got all the consistency, the safety, the security that you would expect and you would get from a traditional hotel experience. So we're trying to bring the two worlds together to create an experience that travelers really value. And what's happened is we've had 75% plus occupancy all the way through the pandemic.
Wow.
So the model is really resonating with business travelers. And we've also signed 53 and counting corporate contracts throughout the pandemic. So corporations are, I think, seeing this type of a solution as a great option for this new world that we're in.
Okay. So how do you see the serviced apartment industry changing the hospitality industry?
Great question. I think the world has clearly changed, and there are things in traditional hospitality that are not necessarily valued anymore. And in many cases, the traditional hospitality industry has expenses that are not necessarily valued. So at a Mint House, you won't find a restaurant, you won't find room service, you won't find a bar. These typically lose money for the traditional hotel industry. What we do is we take the money we save by not having those things, and we put it into a much larger, much more comfortable in-room experience for our guests, with the full kitchen, washer dryer in most of our properties, so you can actually live
like you're
there.
At home.
Exactly. And the other thing I think you'll find is that technology. So we are leveraging technology very, very significantly to improve the guest experience. You think about the airline industry, you don't have to physically check in again in the airline industry these days. You can just go to a kiosk and that's it. Why isn't that the case in the hotel industry? So for us, it's about taking all that friction out and just using our devices to enable that easy access to our properties.
That's wonderful. Makes me want to stay at a Mint House.
Oh, well, please, we can hook that up. That's easy.
So there's been a lot of conversation this week about, yes, business travel is coming back, but it's going to be different. It looks different. How do you see business travel changing post-pandemic? Great
question. We have seen a lot of changes. One is that the average length of a stay has increased. Now, during
commercial break,
trips have gotten longer, so people are no longer taking these 1 or 2 day trips. Right now, we're seeing many more 4-day trips. We're also seeing trips extending into weekends with family members joining. So bleisure, I know everyone is not too fond of that expression, but it's certainly the case. During the pandemic, we also saw a significant amount of what we're calling digital nomads. So we're seeing a significant number of people who are just migrating around our network. We actually built a program called Mint Pass to enable people just to move through our network of properties and spend 3 weeks in Miami, and then spend a month in Nashville, then spend another month in New York if they like. So this idea of digital nomads, at one point it was about 80% of our business. People were working out of our units. That's changed now. It's come back a little bit, and the length of stay has decreased, but it's still twice as long as it was pre-pandemic. And then the last thing that we've seen is a lot of people are living in one place, working somewhere else. So somebody who used to live and work in New York, they might have moved to Miami, and they come to New York 1 week a month. So we've built a product for that. We're calling it Second Home. So for that person that comes to New York, they can keep a set of clothes at our property. We'll pre-stock their kitchen before they arrive. When they leave, we'll take care of their laundry and their dry cleaning. So it's just a different kind of traveler. And what we love is sort of understanding these changes and then just building solutions to address those changes.
That's great. Well, it sounds like you've put a lot of thought into it, which is wonderful, right? And having a really positive, long-lasting effect on what that new traveler and that new travel experience is going to be like, which is fantastic. So, Shane, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much.
And spending some time and talking about Mint House. And I look forward to seeing you on the trade show floor.
Very good. We look forward to hosting you as one of our guests.
Oh, thank you so much. Is there anything you'd like to say in closing to this audience?
I would like to say that some things are changing. A lot of things are changing. We believe this is a new category. We're calling it residential hospitality.
Okay.
But at the same time, satisfying our guests and delivering a very personal service that still remains very, very important and something that we're very, very focused on. So leveraging technology, but at the same time not forgetting about taking care of our guests when they're staying with us.
That's
Great.
wonderful. Shane, a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Melissa. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
We're here at the GBTA broadcast studio. Stay tuned for more.